In this video, we're going to cover the queue. I'm going to talk to you about a couple of different ways you can utilize it to save yourself time and improve your shop's day-to-day workflow. The queue is accessible through the menu. It's the second tab, it's queue, and we'll just take a look at it here. I'll give you the brief overview, then we're going to go through some settings, and then we'll come back and look at how everything works. In the queue page, we have a few buttons here at the top. We've got a quick sale, which just takes you straight to a checkout, and we'll show you how to use that later. We have a check-in button here for any appointments that may be booked for that day. We have a client lookup, and this is just like the client lookup that's on the home screen. So you can search for any client and add them to a sales ticket or add a new form for them here in the queue. And then we have a new client button, which is, again is like the new client button on the home screen that creates a new form. Okay, and that's those are the action buttons that you'll find at the top. We also have a search. If the queue gets deep, there's some pagination here where we can show more items per page. But if you have a lot of items in the queue, if you have a really busy shop and you have a lot of customers either in session with an artist or waiting for their turn, you could just do a search here. So we could search for, there we go, search for Monica here, and that gets isolated so you can see that one customer. So the search is very helpful if you have a lot going on in here. Each name listed in the queue here, you'll see has a couple of different tags. We have Monica here, who is a walk-in. The artist name is right below. Jackson Holt is the artist on this one, and the service being provided is a tattoo. You can see with that badge there. And then the incomplete badge signifies the completeness of the consent form. Once they're completed, it'll be green and it'll say complete. If you tap on the name, there's a couple of buttons available below. The first button is the client's profile. So that'll take you over here to the client's full profile page, which has all of their documentation from past sessions. Forms will be listed here. Past or upcoming appointments will be listed. Any notes you want to add or notes that have been added previously will be listed there as well. Go back to the queue here. The second button in the queue on the client's name is the form button, and this form button will be available if there's an incomplete form. So this one here is incomplete. We can select the button and view the form that the customer has filled out. We can review all of the information here. We can update information by clicking that button. We can review their ID, make notes, select the artist and the person who checked the ID, make any notes on the session. We can sign, staff signature panel is there, and then we can save and check out, which will create the PDF and bring us to the checkout, or we can just add this back into the queue. So we'll say we'll add this back into the queue. Any changes we made on that page are now updated in the queue and ready for checkout when the session is complete. So we have a few walk-ins here. If we do that client check-in, let's do that check-in. So we've got an appointment for Alexander here today, and he's arrived, so we can check him in. All of our check-ins are done, and now we'll see we've got Alexander listed here in the queue. And that's essentially the queue page, the queue interface itself. Now I will take you through a couple of different workflows. Let's take a look at the settings first. So if we open the menu and go to settings, and then we go to form editor. The form editor is where most of our client intake form preferences are. We cover this in detail in another video, and you can find that on the tutorials page in the tutorial list. But for this particular tutorial, we're going to talk about a couple in particular, which are in the workflow section here. We're going to talk about enable ID first and skip the queue. Enable ID first is a workflow option that you may or may not want to have enabled based on whether you are letting the client complete their form in an unattended fashion. So, for example, you may have a tablet on the front counter in a stand as a type of a kiosk, and maybe the clients walk in and fill out their form without a staff member present. You probably wouldn't want the enable ID first checked. You'd want that disabled. I'll show you what this looks like. Let's go to the studio page and tap new client here, and you'll see that there's a button here for the camera. This is for capturing the ID. You can capture the ID and use the photo, and then the customer can continue on filling out all their forms. Now, if your shop requires the ID to be shown before the customer is allowed to fill out anything else, then enabling ID first is for you. And if we head back, let's delete that. And if we head back to the settings and back to form editor and then preferences, we can disable ID first, which will then allow you to capture the ID at the end. In this case, I'm going to just pick a return client, enter the staff PIN code, and let's search for a client. So Monica Bell. There we go. And you'll see now that the ID capture is gone from this particular form. Maybe she's getting a piercing here. We've got all information. All looks good. She verifies all of her info. It's all correct. Reads the consent, signs, and then at the end, after the signature, by default, we're requiring a staff PIN code. So we'll have to get a staff member to check that ID. Monica is a return client, so she'll have an ID already stored in here. The staff member can check all of the information, fill out any shop info that's required, add some notes, sign the form, and then if we're done, go straight through the checkout and finish this piercing all in one go. Set our payment method, add our tip, and we're done. Now, that ticket for the piercing that Monica just had done was not saved to the queue because we went straight through to the checkout. After checkout, the items are cleared from the queue automatically. The other option that we have, going back to settings, form editor, preferences. Okay, we have this skip the queue enabled. If we disable skip the queue, we'll get a separate flow. So let's save that. And we'll head back to the home page. Let's pull up another client and let's grab this guy, Test Smith. There we go. And let's say he is going in for a tattoo and all the info looks good. He agrees to the terms, signs his form. Now we've got a little bit of a different option here. So in the previous example, you had a PIN number entry here, which required immediate attention from a staff member. In this case, the client would be filling out this form on their own, unattended, and then when they get to this point, they just click OK, and the form would reset and get back to the home page, ready for the next customer. Now, imagine you are working with, say, a computer or another device, another tablet, maybe at an artist station, or maybe you have somebody at the front counter dedicated to doing paperwork. They would be working within the queue, and they might have this queue open. And then as soon as this Test Smith customer filled out their form, we would see this customer end up in the queue here. So now your staff would know that this person has not had their ID checked yet, based on how you have your system set up. So they would then open the form button, and in this case, well, we have a return customer here, so we have an ID, but let's say we didn't. They could check all the information, verify it, check the ID, grab a photo of the ID or the updated ID, whatever the case may be, And again, fill out any relevant information here, add in some notes, or maybe not. Maybe we add in the notes after the session, and then we just tap Add to Queue. Now this customer is in the queue waiting for work to be done. And of course, at the end of the session, we could open it up and add our notes. Staff signs it, and now we can proceed to the checkout. And let's say we're charging by the hour. This is why the customer's work item was sitting in the queue. Say we did 3 hours at $150 an hour. We have our total of $450. We can add more notes here. These notes on this page don't end up on the form. The notes from the previous page do end up on the PDF form. These notes here just end up on the client's profile for your own internal use later. You can also click here to upload attachments if you wanted to attach before and after pictures or anything like that. So we can continue on to the checkout, choose our payment method, add a tip, and then submit. And we're done. And after that's done, you'll see that customer's been removed from the queue and others are waiting. So that's basically how the queue works. So you have two primary ways to work with it. You can skip it entirely if you're not charging by the hour and you just want to get through the form and then get straight into the checkout. You can do it that way, or you can use the queue, let the form sit here in the queue while you do the work, and then finalize it at the end before you do the checkout. And that is the queue.